Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on NBC5 News at 6. I'm Kyle Aevermann. Only NBC5 News is following breaking news this morning. A Medford police officer and suspect in the hospital this morning after a crash in South Medford. Continuing our fire danger red coverage and new from overnight, a level 3 evacuation order has been issued for all homes, cabins, recreational sites, and the lodge at Diamond Lake. Caltrans says a landslide in Siskiyou County is growing, and that's slowing operations to reopen State Route 96. And the big talker in Salem this morning is, will Republicans hold yet another walkout? We begin this half hour with the latest on a developing story out of Ashland, where police have arrested a man in connection with a deadly shooting. But this morning we're tracking reaction from last night's debate. I know you've been kind of watching what people are saying online. What are they saying? Let's head to Josephine County right now, where fire crews have been working hard to stop the spread of the Slater fire, which started near Happy Camp, California. It's one of the most iconic structures in Southern Oregon, and now some Eagle Point High School students are volunteering their time to help rebuild the city's iconic Butte Creek Mill. The show must go on. That's the motto some Ashland High School students lived by over the weekend. I'm gonna hang this on my fridge when I get home.
You should.
I even autographed it, so you know it's legit. This is legit stuff right here.
Yeah, show us the muscles.
I promise you, I do not have muscles like that.
Okay. So you gotta really go.
All right, ready?
Go get it, go get it!
But I caught it with my hand.
Get it, get it, get it.
Well, at least I caught it. I can just like feel myself breathing inside. Nice, right? Yeah. And we begin this morning with a live look outside. This is Medford, a view from the Rogue Valley Manor. Overnight, firefighters have been hard at work trying to contain the Alameda fire. And as you can see, a lot more smoke, and you can still see those flames this morning. Hey, good morning, everyone. And thanks so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Kyle Aevermann. There is a lot of information to get to this morning, but keep in mind, there is a lot we still do not know. Fire officials, as you can imagine, have just been extremely busy trying to contain these fires, and they have not been able to provide us with a whole lot of updates. So there are 3 major fires in our viewing area we are tracking for you this morning. Let's take a look at the map right here, give you a better idea of where these fires are burning. There is the Alameda fire that started in Ashland and worked its way to Medford. The Open Chain fire is burning near Eagle Point, and the 242 fire is burning in Klamath County. Every morning we tell you the number of coronavirus cases in the state. But this morning we want you to keep in mind these aren't just numbers, these are people, our neighbors, our friends, our family, and there's no doubt that this virus is impacting more people than we ever imagined. So here's where we stand right now. Oregon saw 935 more people test positive yesterday, bringing the statewide total to over 58,000. 13 people also died from coronavirus in the state, bringing the death toll to 778. And in California, more than 37,000 people have tested positive since the state passed 1 million cases last week. And the big talker in Salem this morning is, will Republicans hold yet another walkout? You may remember last summer, Republicans walked out over a proposed cap and trade bill, blocking any bills from really being passed. It ended after Senate President Peter Courtney said that the bill no longer had enough support to pass, and it was sent back to the committee. Well, there's been a lot of work on that bill since then. In fact, several Republicans tell the Statesman Journal that the bill is actually now far worse than originally proposed and actually could increase gas prices. The newspaper also said that Senate Republican leader Herman Bertschiger of Grants Pass suggested to members of the media last month that Republicans would support a bill that would refer this issue to voters. Now, that's something Democrats say they don't want to do. Only time really will tell what happens here. We are just getting started this morning, but I want to stop and just take a moment to say this. There is no doubt the past 24 hours have been extremely rough for our community. No matter your situation this morning, you have made it through. You are here today, and that's all that matters. If you lost your home, it can be replaced. You cannot. So take a moment right now and just take a breath. Be thankful you are here today. If I've learned anything about Southern Oregon since I first came here in 2012, is that this is a resilient community. There is no place like it in the entire world. We are all here for each other, and while it may feel like it sometimes, just know you are not alone. It is time for Snaps on Sunrise this morning. I posted this video to my Insta story yesterday, walking the dog in the rain. Good. Blakely, you immediately texted me and she was like, you have to include it in Snaps on Sunrise this morning.
Yes, everybody needs to see this video.
All right, so let's look at it.
It's hilarious.
File this under hashtag when it's pouring outside and you don't have a poncho for the dog. Wills, no one has ever looked better in a Winco bag than you. You are killing it, my friend.
It's just so good, Kyle.
Right. Well, I had to go to the store yesterday because it was pouring and I didn't want to have to wear the bag again. So we got him this winter jacket. Although I'm not sure he's a fan for it. I posted another video afterwards. We were trying to download it this morning to share it, but for some reason wouldn't work. But he's just like wiggles his way and it's just hilarious.
The innovation of the Winco bag.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I am impressed.
I didn't want him soaked all over the house.
You're such a good dog dad, Kyle. Wow.
All right, well, if you have a great video or picture, make sure you send it our way. Just use hashtag Snaps on Sunrise.
The next half hour of news starts right now.
Well, first responders have had to readjust how they respond to incidents in the age of physical distancing, and it appears those efforts are working.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Every day, first responders across the valley are called to dozens of emergencies. But with a worldwide pandemic still going on, the way police, firefighters, and EMS crews are responding is different.
And taking care of patients in their emergencies, it's really a hands-on business.
That day-to-day interaction with our community members has certainly changed.
Like healthcare workers, first responders are required by their respective agencies to wear personal protective equipment and monitor their space.
Now we're interacting with our community members from a greater distance. We're asking them to respect our boundary, as of course we are respecting their boundary.
But those are just a small part of the changes. For Jackson County Fire District 3, it's even changing its response while en route to a scene.
What we've been doing is reaching out to patients using our phone, FaceTiming when the patient is able to or we're able to be able to make a video contact with patients before we arrive on scene and help inform our officers with what the right appropriate type of response we would be able to initiate.
Law enforcement agencies are also limiting their contact and are taking reports of smaller incidents online while finding new ways to help solve emergencies.
They have options of trying to handle what can be handled via phone. And a lot of times just a phone contact with the deputy will handle the call.
We look at new and creative ways to help our community. And the pandemic has proven some challenges that we're looking at as opportunities to grow that level of innovation.
In the past month, calls for emergencies are down, and first responders fear that many people are stressed about tying up resources, but want to assure all of us they are ready to handle any and all situations.
People should be aware that we will respond if needed. Sometimes we may have to adjust how we respond.
Now, all the agencies we spoke to today say they will reevaluate their practices when those restrictions are lifted, but anticipate some of these changes could be good for the long term. 6:40 on this National Pet Day, a story you will only see right here on Sunrise. A warning from the Better Business Bureau about websites trying to sell you cats and dogs that really don't exist. And Grants Pass couple fell victim to the scam this morning. They're hoping you can learn from the mistake that cost them hundreds of dollars.
This is our happy little family.
Linda and Roy Dwight love their two pugs, Max and Bailey.
They're part of the family. They're like kids.
But Max is 12 years old and his health is starting to deteriorate. Since they don't want Bailey to feel lonely when that time comes, they've started searching the web for a new companion.
I typed in pugs for sale and this website came up. Dogs were half price because they were all at least 4 months old. I found one I really liked. And so we contacted back and forth through emails.
Dwight says she felt like she was doing her due diligence, even asking for references, but admits that's where she missed the first of many red flags.
In one of the emails I got, they said that they were an older couple, but the gentleman I talked to was from the Middle East someplace. You could tell in his accent.
After deciding to move forward, Dwight sent a total of $550 through Western Union. That would cover the cost of the dog and shipping from the alleged seller on the other side of the country.
But because of the snowstorm that was back east at that time, they could not ship him on that day.
Dwight says she was informed the dog would need special handling, a climate control kennel. That would cost her at least another $1,200 while waiting out the storm. Another common tactic to squeeze money from victims, according to Stephen Meyer with the Better Business Bureau of Pacific Northwest.
In some cases, these schemes can get pretty sophisticated with multiple parties involved, and consumers just don't realize until it's too late that something's going on.
Meyer says these fake sites are everywhere. In fact, if you search for a pet online, you're more than likely to find a fake site almost immediately.
You definitely want to be an informed consumer.
Dewey never heard from the sellers again after that snowstorm passed, and both the website and phone numbers vanished.
So basically, same thing, just a new name.
My mind doesn't go to this people taking advantage of things, especially when it comes to pets.
Dewey says from now on, she'll only meet with local sellers that she can meet with in person.
A lesson learned. It's a hard lesson, but live and learn.
So the BBB says there are a few red flags you can look out for to spot a fake pet seller. First, look for grammar errors on the website. If there's a lot, it's probably fake. Also, check out the address bar on the top to see if the website is secure. You'll know if it starts with HTTPS. Also ask lots of questions. Make sure the sellers are knowledgeable about their animals and about any products they're selling. And finally, get more than one reference from recent customers and ask them about how the experience played out for each of them. As for the Deweys, they of course were heartbroken they didn't receive the puppy, but they're currently in talks with a local breeder in the Sam's Valley for a new pug. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. But it's Aevermann, cape in tow, working his way down the coast.
Come on! Come on!
Jamie McDonald set off on a cross-country run last month, kicking off his adventure on the westernmost point of the U.S. in Washington, heading towards the easternmost point in Maine.
I'm out of breath already.
For the past few weeks, he's been working his way down the Oregon coast, and Monday left Brookings for Northern California.
Some of the views are it was like running in, seeing postcards like everywhere.
For the first 9 years of his life, McDonald suffered from a rare spinal condition.
It was a really, really scary time. Sometimes I couldn't move my legs, and so I was just really, really sick. And in the space of a year or two, all my symptoms just gradually disappeared, and I got my health.
Inspired by his own experience and the doctors who helped heal him, McDonald has been on a lifelong mission of giving back.
For this trip in particular, every time someone donates, it then feeds back to their local children's hospital to help their local sick kids.
He's been stopping at children's hospitals along the way, and he'll continue as he runs through 15 states. It's not his first big heroic adventure either. One of his first was back in 2012 when he bought a secondhand bike and rode it from Bangkok, Thailand, back home to England, all to raise money and awareness for kids in need.
As tough as it is, every day I've got to put myself through absolute just pain. If I can just change one kid's life, then that's all that really matters, and that gives me value on why I'm put on this earth.